Have you ever blamed yourself for feeling a certain way? Like you blame yourself for feeling anxious, depressed, or just low? Instead of showing yourself like some kind of compassion and empathy, you start judging yourself. You start blaming yourself. You start feeling frustrated with yourself, disappointed with yourself. Why can't I just get over it? Why am I feeling this way? Why other people are dealing with much worse? Why am I not able to deal with this? What's wrong with me? This is something I've suffered with for a long, long time, and still do a little bit, but certainly getting better and certainly a lot more self-aware than I've ever been. That's why sharing this right now. I always used to think feeling bad was a sign of weakness, something I need to fix, or if I felt anxious, I always thought, right, I need to fix this right now. Why am I feeling like this? I cannot feel like this. I can't accept it. But having gone through several bits of therapy, I'm starting to kind of think quite differently, and this is something I've learnt. And I guess when I started therapy, I wanted to just flick a switch and be better and not have anxiety and racing thoughts and worries and things. I just wanted to be better. Didn't want to be suffering from a horrible feeling of anxiousness and horrible thoughts and things all the time. I wanted to be fixed and I wanted to flick a switch. And that didn't happen, but what has happened, therapy hasn't cured me, but it has made me a lot more aware, and that is been beneficial. And I do believe it will help and continue to help. It has already helped, and I believe it will continue to help. But as I said just before, what I was doing, and what I still do to a degree now, but to a much lesser degree, is just every time I feel anxious, I'd be like stuck, I'd be annoyed with myself. If I had a panic attack, I'd be annoyed with myself. I'd be frustrated with myself. I'd be disappointed in myself. I'd feel like I was a letdown to other people. And what therapy has taught me is to be much kinder, much more understanding, and kind of treat myself like I treat somebody else. If I saw somebody else in an anxious mess, I wouldn't tell them off for being an anxious mess. I would be empathetic and I'd be kind to them. But I kind of tell myself off, and I'm treating myself far worse than I would treat others. And just having that little switch, being a little bit more kind. It's okay to feel anxious sometimes. Right now, I'm going through a bit of an anxious patch, and I'm trying to practice the feeling of it's okay to feel like this. This will pass, and I know it will pass deep down. I absolutely know it will pass. But it's that resistance, that part in your brain going, "Ooh, what if it doesn't pass?" And why are you feeling like this? So, the biggest lesson I have learnt from therapy is to be more understanding of myself, be kinder to myself, and basically treat myself how I treat others, in a kind and compassionate way. And knowing that sometimes I'm going to have bad days, I'm going to have bad weeks potentially, but these times can pass, and not feel it, not make, because I think being unkind to oneself compounds those feelings, makes them last longer, and ultimately just doesn't feel as nice. So now going forward, that's I guess what I'm trying to practice, and I'm not getting it perfect, certainly not yet, but I have getting better. I'm kind of sharing this journey, hoping that this will help others as well as myself. This is advice. It is as much for myself as it is for others. But it's good to get down on paper, good to be able to revisit this and see exactly that, because I know I've had some really good days recently. Right now I'm in a bad moment again, and I'm being very honest about that, but I've had some really good days recently. But yeah, the biggest lesson is be kind to yourself. That is the biggest lesson I believe I have learned. And I always wanted to have all the answers. I wanted to be healed instantly. But I'm accepting that that is not the case. I'm accepting that sometimes going to have bad times, but in accepting that, it's certainly leading to some much better days and much better moments. And overall, despite a really tricky last couple of days, and that's why it's even more difficult to make this video, it's certainly have been better since I've had this acceptance. So if that's interesting, and if you can resonate to that, please let me know. Always great to hear other people's stories and other people's coping mechanisms, but certainly that one of being empathetic and being much nicer to oneself and treating myself like I treat others when they are struggling is helping. I'm going to be doing more anxiety experiments here, seeing how we can lower anxiety, trying a few different things. Check out the other videos if you want to see a couple of other things tried and discussed on here. I'm going to try more and more. I'm going to try and share more and more what works, what doesn't work. Obviously this is not advice, just my own personal experience, but hopefully some of it will prove to be helpful. So take care all, and speak again very soon.